going to start today with a story that everybody is talking about, a lot of people anyway. Britney Spears announced on Instagram she's going to be a mom again, just months after being freed from her conservatorship. So this will be her first child with her fiancé, who she calls hubby all the time. But anyway, Sam Asghari. Britney has two teenage sons that we know with her ex, Kevin Federline. This was big news. It continues to kind of like cause these ripples. What do we make of this?
I mean, I'm still haunted by the fact that she was forced by basically her father to wear an IUD for years. Like, that to me is some eugenics level stuff.
That's
that is
dark.
so dark and haunting. So, I mean, good for her on that one hand. You know, we know that she had a really hard time with her first couple of pregnancies. She's talked openly about having postpartum depression and possibly postpartum anxiety. But she was in her 20s, right? And she was like arguably at the peak of her career, recording music, touring, doing all those kinds of things. So do you think that because now she's no longer in the spotlight, she's not really making music, I think she's working on a book maybe. Do you think that maybe that lessening of attention and demands will produce different results? I know there's not obviously a formula.
That's really interesting, because I've always thought, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have kids so early on, my idea is that you kind of want to have a better idea of who you are before you have kids. And I kind of feel like Britney was never given that opportunity, and that she's still trying to figure out, you know, conservatorship, figure out who she is. And I have to admit, like, when I see her announcement, or even anytime I go to her Instagram page, I kind of go there like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Like, what am I going to see? Sometimes the captions are childlike. There's an innocence to them. And I have this reaction where, like, you almost want to protect her. And,
like, tell her to stay off social media?
Yeah.
Like, just be off.
Yeah, or, take some time to figure out who you are. So, yay, a baby. That's beautiful, but there's still that worrying. I worry about her.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair as fans.
But at the same time, like, how much worrying is appropriate?
Because
I think over the last 2 years, we've all had to come to terms, from Diane Sawyer to Lainey Gossip to everybody in the culture, that the culture did her dirty. The way we talked about her, the way we covered her, the way we reported on her. So now we've been given 2 years of leave Britney alone, right?
Yeah.
Stop talking about her, don't do it. Like, and then so now that she's made these announcements, but as you both have said, it's a little bit weird what she posts on her social media, or some people interpret her words as being weird. Can we even say you feel weird about the weird things that she says without being yelled at, leave Britney alone? Like, everything is so loaded now. And I get why. Again, we all did her dirty. But now I don't know what level of appropriate of worry is allowable.
Right.
You know what? I think you bring up a great point of conversation, which I think you can simultaneously be happy for her. She's been through a heck of a lot of challenges. I still think she's facing a lot of challenges without the baby discussion, but now you add the baby to it. But it really made me pause as a person when I said to myself, okay, well, why am I worried? You know, like, why am I worried? And why am I like, oh, this is great news for her, but.
There's a but.
There's a but. And then it made me ask myself, really, I mean, we know as parents, it's not like you don't need a license to become a parent. Anybody can become a parent. And if we're going to start, or if I'm going to start to put a judgmental hat on as to whether I think that, you know, Britney's going to be okay, there's a lot of people, maybe starting with my own life, that couldn't we say that about a lot of people? Like, what is a good enough parent? What is a good enough situation? This woman has more resources than any of us could ever dream of. I think her and the babes are going to be just fine.
It's a great point. She seems to have found happiness.
She seems to have found happiness, and she has the means for sure.
If you didn't believe that, could you say it?
I think I could. She seems to have found happiness. I don't know much about this fiancé or husband.
Well, she calls him both.
Okay, interesting. But he, you know, again, there is still trepidation. I don't know a lot about him. We've done her dirty. Lots of people have done her dirty. Let's hope she's found some stability.
Yeah, but wouldn't there be, you know, they seem great, you know, and I want to be happy for her. But again, pull this out a little bit more. Would there be people that would make a judgment on, let's say, a woman who wants to have a baby on her own without a partner? We judge women like that. Are there people who are like, oh, you're going to become a single parent? Don't we judge those people? Like,
People judge. I mean, we're
judging
kind of
people all the
skirting around this
time.
also,
Yeah.
like to talk about somebody who has openly struggled with mental illness and that has been accused of all kinds of things from her family members. So there's a lot of murky territory. We know too much. We shouldn't know all these
That's
details
a great
about
point,
this
Cynthia.
stuff, right?
But she's putting it out there.
Sure, she's putting it out there, but kind of could be argued that it was put out for her first by other people, teams, parents, whatever. So it's such a complicated.
Her conservatorship is over.
For sure.
And she's won her freedom, so to speak. So, like, she was the one who was like, hi, not a burger, but a baby. So now it's opening our show.
Yeah, it kind of would have been better if it, in a way, better. I mean, like, for her,
here. I don't know what to do.
situation, like, I think the ideal from an outsider's perspective would be for her to have quietly just kind of been like, I actually do want out of the public eye, so I'm going to shut down my social media accounts and I'm going to do this quietly on my own.
But I do think she gets something from social media that she hasn't gotten from the people that she was supposed to get it from, which is attention and which is love. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's why, I don't know if it's an unhealthy relationship or not, but I think that's how she's using social media.
Mm-hmm.